Bryan, your character Ned and Laird. I mean, he says at one point, sorry, Ned, that he feels like he's in the Twilight Zone, and these two are kind of couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
There's also an element that's kind of the old and the new. What does Ned make of it all, and why does this scenario provide sort of such a rich comic theme?
I think it makes comedic sense because there's truth to it. I think men my age, women my age will go, yeah, this is a legitimate concern of theirs, that one of their children will select someone who we just don't care about, we just don't like. Ned doesn't know that he could like this guy or even come to love him because of the presentation that he puts out. You know, can you feel it? Can you feel the he's giving it to me right now, this kind of thing going on right there. So it is truly a story about, prejudice, that I prejudge who this man is depending on how he presents himself. But maybe he's nervous, maybe he's scared. As it turns out, he didn't have a father. He's trying a little too hard, socially awkward, and all those things that make him stumble and make people make a judgment on him. And it's not fair. And Zoey, who plays the daughter, she's desperately trying to keep it all together and to make us see the man that she's in love with.
I love the odd couple relationship between Ned and Laird. I mean, how much fun did you have creating that with Bryan?
It was fantastic, and it started months and months before we started filming. We really wanted to work out the dynamic with John, the director, so that there was, that it wasn't just spy versus spy. It wasn't, two guys out to get each other. That it was based on, like Bryan's saying, prejudice or misunderstanding, or being blinded by kind of surface level things to actually a deeper kind of goodness in each of the characters. So working that out was great. It was key.
And you cast Bryan in Dubious Battle and in The Masterpiece, which you directed. Was that having got to know each other on Why Him?
Yeah, well, because I met him so early in this process that I guess I did 2 movies before we actually shot.
Yeah, we had a chance to. James goes, "Oh, I have 10 minutes. I can do a movie." We met actually a couple of years ago, 2.5 years ago, I think, something like that. We were both doing a play in New York at the time.
That's right. That's a very first time.
And that was the first time we saw each other backstage at something on our one night off. And then there was another opportunity to meet, and the offer came up, and it was like, I'd like to see if James is into this, I mean, because I thought, and come to realize it too, that you thought, like, okay, there's a structure here, but let's fill it up. We can't live in this structure. There are no walls. There's no windows. Can we make this something? Can we create a scenario where people, audiences, will really empathize with these characters, not just laugh, but really feel for them and want them and grimace and, oh God, why don't say that, don't do that, oh, don't be that way, oh, then they keep missing each other, and the ultimate clash, and then the understanding. What have you learned from it? And it's great. It's a very good experience. When you leave here, you would have laughed a lot, and you've invested in these characters.
And just finally, James, we're very much looking forward to Alien Covenant. What's it like being part of such an iconic film series?
The news is out, I guess.
I guess he asked you. I guess so.
I don't know if he's trying to trick me into talking about it or not.
He's not saying either. He's still not saying.
I think it's out there, yeah.
Okay.
Certainly, there's lots of things online anyway. But yeah.
Okay.
So, but is it a series that's kind of meant a lot to you? Is it?
Yes, I remember when I was a kid watching Alien for the first time, and that was huge. I mean, I just watched it in the past month. I saw it over at Tarantino's theater, and it's such a good movie. It's so tight. full of tension. It's really just a horror movie in space.
But that title was already taken. Horror movie in space. We need something different.
So it's great to be.
But you're not allowed to say too much about Alien Covenant just yet.
Obviously not. Yeah.
Okay, James, Bryan, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!